Hello Libra, welcome to Soul Good. I'm Amber Marie and this is your 2023 Tarotscope. If you're curious about the decks that I'm using today, you can find a list of them in the description box below. You can also find links to my social media accounts, as well as links to information on personal readings and the Soul Good membership channel on Telegram. There will be a timestamp in the description box below if you would like to bypass any shuffling. Feel free to do so. I would also like to remind you that this is a collective reading, not a personal reading, so please only take what resonates with you and leave the rest. All right, Libra, we're going to be looking at a lot of information for this year, so let's jump right in. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, tell us about Libra's theme for 2023, please. Thank you. Wow. Wow, that was so fast. Tell us about a shift or an epiphany that will take place for Libra in 2023. Tell us about a shift or an epiphany that will take... Okay. Tell us about Libra's biggest asset for 2023, please. Tell us about Libra's biggest... Oh, Lord have mercy. Way too many cards. Let's try that again. Nice, clear message for Libra, please. Tell us about Libra's biggest asset for 2023. Tell us about Libra's biggest asset for 2023, please. What is Libra's biggest asset for 2023? Okay, this one here. Thank you. What will Libra have an opportunity to learn in 2023? What will Libra have an opportunity to learn in 2023, please? Okay. Thank you. What does Libra's soul want them to know for 2023? Thank you. What does God want Libra to know for 2023? What does God want Libra to know for 2023, please? Nice, clear message for Libra. What does God want Libra to know for 2023? Okay, thank you. And finally, what is a blessing that Libra will have the opportunity to receive this year, 2023? What is a blessing? Okay, thank you. All right, let's get some clarity. Tell us more, please, about Libra's theme for 2023. Okay. Tell us more about a shift or an epiphany that will take place for Libra in 2023, please. Tell us more about a shift or an epiphany that will take place for Libra. Thank you. Tell us more about Libra's biggest asset for 2023, please. Okay, thank you. Tell us more about what Libra will have an opportunity to learn in 2023, please. Okay, thank you. Tell us more about what Libra's soul would like them to know. Tell us more about what Libra's soul would like them to know, please. Thank you. Tell us more about what God would like Libra to know for 2023. Okay, thank you. And tell us more, please, about a blessing that Libra will have the opportunity to receive, please. Tell us more about a blessing that, thank you. Okay, let's jump in and take a look at your theme for 2023. Wow, okay, Libra. So first card out here, you do have come to the edge, okay? This for me is saying that 2023 is going to likely have this theme of risk taking for you. Now, I'm not saying risky in the sense of just running around all willy-nilly, doing things impulsively. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is taking calculated risks, right? Getting those signs from the universe saying, hey, go here, do this, right? Okay, I know it doesn't make sense, but quit your job and move. And you're like, excuse me, what? What did you just say to me? Right? Those kinds of risks, calculated risks. And even if it seems foolish, it can still be calculated, right? You can still, for example, quit your job, pick up and move out of state, and it still be very calculated, right? Because maybe you need a new beginning. Maybe you need a new career change. Maybe you need a new relationship change, right? Whatever it is. I just really feel like there's something here for you, Libra, about, again, taking calculated risks, risks that you feel are in alignment with your truth, with your soul, with what you feel authentically, right? And here's the other thing. I feel there's another part of this that's about trusting, right? Trusting God, universe, whatever you refer to it as. I refer to it as God, right? So trusting God that when you come to that edge, first of all, God's not going to allow you to fall, right? And second of all, like there's a reason that you're there, right? This is the number 36. Just in case you would like to keep up on some of these numbers, they may mean something to you or be important to you in some way, shape, or form, right? This does reduce to 9, and 9 is a number of reflection, or not reflection, excuse me. That's not the word I'm looking for. What is the word I'm looking for? Yeah, like a transitionary period or attainment period, right? So I do. It's interesting though, because I said the word reflection, and I feel like and I know darn well that that's more of like a 7 type of energy, especially being in a universal 7 year, right? So I feel like it's interesting that that would come out of my mouth simply because I feel like there is this reflection in regards to this transitionary period, right? Because I feel like I almost feel like, again, it's not, I don't, I feel like there could be decisions that you make this year, Libra, that are very, it's like calculated to you, but to everyone else, it may seem foolish or like you don't know what you're doing. But for you, it's like, actually, I do though, because this is what I need in order to be in alignment with my truth, in order to be who I'm supposed to be, right? What else do you have here? Chop wood. Interesting. There's that 7 energy, that reflective type of, or no, oh my gosh, why can I not count? Why? This is so weird. Like, I don't understand why I'm struggling with numbers right now so much. I mean, I'm no math genius by any means, and as a matter of fact, I'm probably one of, I'm so horrible at math, to be honest, but like, I've never really had this much trouble. Have you guys struggled with numbers, some of you? Struggled with math, struggled with finances, maybe, um, times even. Why do I feel like some of you have like, you like, I don't know, like get, for some of you, I literally feel like you get time backwards. Like somebody will tell you, um, be there at, 12:10, and you're like, okay, and you show up at like 10:12 or something. right? Like I just feel like some of you like literally get those, like some of those numbers backwards. But this is the number 42, which reduces to 6. This is about alignment, which is what I was speaking on with that come to the edge, right? But chopped wood is putting work in, right? So it's the lit. I mean, and here's the thing: the chopped wood card, when you read the guidebook definition, it is literally this card of like putting in the physical work. If you look there, there's a broom, there are buckets, there is a bundle of wood, even, right? So it's literally about putting the work in. So here's the thing, Libra. For some of you, and I don't feel like this applies to everyone, but for some of you, this theme for 2023 is literally about you um, coming to the edge in the sense of like putting in the work. And I don't know that you've actually done that before. Not fully, not really, not like I'm in it wholeheartedly, right? Like I'm coming to the edge, I'm putting myself out there, I'm going to do all of the work that's required of me. Some of you, I feel like in the past, have like danced on the edge or teetered on the edge. And what I mean by that is like in the past, I feel like some of you could have like done work, but like you only did as much as was necessary, right? Like for some, like, and this could apply to you, this could apply to a job, this could apply to relationships, right? This could apply to so many things. Like you only did what was necessary, right? For some of you, again, this may not be for everybody, and maybe this is going to be triggering for some, but I feel like you only did what was necessary. Like you probably could have been more present in your job or in a relationship or with yourself, right? You probably could have put more effort towards a job or towards a certain hobby or towards yourself or towards a relationship, right? And I feel like there's this element for 2023 of like, okay, well, now what needs to happen is like you actually need to like go full on, right? Like put all the work in, put all the effort in, right? Take that risk. Because for some of you, I feel like there's this element of like, well, what if I put in all this work and I don't get nothing back, right? I feel like there's an element of that. And I feel like part of that is like things that need to be healed, that imbalance, right? I feel like there's part of that that needs to be healed. Because maybe you did put effort into things previously and didn't get anything in return. But let me ask you this, was it in alignment with what's true for you? Was it in alignment with what is authentically you? Because if you put work into things that are not meant for you, it's you're not going to get the rewards that you're looking for. I'm just saying, right? So it's really interesting. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. We have this 5 of Wands in the reverse, right? There, it's interesting. This is like an energy of respecting differences, right? It's an energy of like avoiding conflict. I don't know why it's like, usually my ring light is not that bad with these cards. I don't know why. It's like so bright. Um, but with this five of Wands in the reverse, right? This is an energy of like, again, respecting differences. Not everybody is going to see things from your perspective this year, Libra, and you have to not take that personally. There, people can only see things from their point of view, from their perspective, and from what they allow themselves to perceive, right? Because some can play the observer and put themselves in your shoes and try to imagine or empathize with how it might feel to be in your situation, right? Others don't, right? So people can only understand you from their level of understanding, from their level of awareness, from their level of perception. And so, you may be doing things throughout this year that no one agrees with, that no one understands. Now, I'm not saying that's permission for you to just run around being, nasty to people or mean to people or disrespectful or, whatever. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you may be doing things that are true for you, right? Maybe you quit a job that pays really good because you want to do, I don't know, something else. Maybe you want to join a circus. I don't really care, right? But like there's something that maybe you want to do or you want to pursue. and no one else gets it, but for you, you're like stoked. This is what's going to bring you happiness. This is what's going to bring you what you feel is true for you. And not everybody's going to get that, right? Not everybody's meant to understand your journey. It is, after all, your journey, right? Let's see what's going on with some shifts or epiphanies taking place for you. Wow, you do have higher power here, Libra, with the number 4. I feel like with this higher power card, I feel like literally, I'm going to be honest, like I feel like God is stepping in, right? I feel like that higher power is stepping into your life. I feel like that could be creating a shift or an epiphany for sure. For some of you, it's merely that connection with God, with source, universe. Again, I call it God, call it whatever you wish, right? But I feel like this could be an epiphany for some of you. Some of you, yes, thank you, Lord, you've been dancing around a relationship with spirit. Maybe you only pray when you need something or when you need a favor. Actually, I'm being reminded of a song by, I believe it's by Jelly Roll. I could be wrong. But I believe it's by Jelly Roll, and it's called, oh my gosh, what is it called? I Need a Favor, something like that. I can't think of the word or the song right now. I can link it in the description box for you. But yeah, I'm definitely getting those kind of vibes, and it's the song is basically, right, like I only talk to God when I need something, right? I only talk to God when I need a favor. And, I feel like that's this energy here. I feel like there's something here that some of you have been doing that, right? And I feel like this could be a shift for you in 2023. And I'm not trying to push religion because I don't consider myself to be religious, just to share that. But I feel like for some of you, that shift could be that connection with that higher power, right? Establishing or bettering that connection, maybe jumping full in versus just dancing around the edge, okay? Wow, look at this. You have yin energy as well. This is feminine energy, which is all about that feeling, intuitive, nurturing, tender, loving energy. It is the creative force behind life, right? Um, and I do feel like that's what part of this is about, right? I do feel like part of this is like, I feel like, how do I say this? I feel like in 2023, for some of you, you're going to be establishing this connection with that higher power and feeling it intuitively, very much so, right? That yin energy is intuition as well. It can represent intuition because it represents the feminine energy, right? And in feminine energy, or one of the characteristics of that feminine energy, is being very intuitive, very sensitive, right? It's in touch with your emotions. It is, again, like I was saying as well, also tender, nurturing, fertile energy, right? What else do we have? Building blocks. Okay. Yeah. So with this higher power, this yin and building blocks, I'm really getting this energy of a shift or an epiphany. Again, I feel like there's this relationship that could essentially be, or could potentially, is the word I was looking for, be established in 2023, that is one with that creative force, that higher power, right? And how that helps to create or establish foundational shifts in your experience, right? I feel like that connection, for some of you, I feel like that connection with God is what you needed in order to have, or in order to feel like you're on firm foundation, in order to feel that stability. Because I feel like some of you are craving that stability. I feel like some of you need that stability. I feel like it's something that could have been missing, right? For some of you. And I feel like it almost feels like God's coming in to like lead the way and say, hey, this is what needs to happen, right? God being that like creative force behind creating this foundational shift in your reality. Wow, you have the star here in reverse. You cannot make this up, Libra. You freaking can't. I just want to say that, right? Because this star card in the reverse, let me just to kind of put things into context. The star in the upright is about faith and hope, right? In the reverse, it's like faithlessness, right? And what was I saying? Some of you have been dancing around that relationship with God, right? Only calling on God when you need something. Like when you're at like the end of the rope and you feel like you have nothing and nowhere to turn. That may be who you talk to. But it's like God requires more than that, right? God is asking you for more than that. And I feel like this year that could be a big, big shift, right? Going from this energy of like faithlessness, hopelessness, right? Not having that connection to establishing that connection and creating a foundational shift within your reality. I just want to, yeah. It's interesting because I just feel like I don't know, for some of you, I feel like you've been like feeling discouraged. Like I feel like for some of you, I don't even know how to explain it. I feel like there's been this sense of like things kind of working out, but not, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's very roller coastery like, right? Or has been in the past. And I feel like that stability you're looking for is in God, right? I feel like it's almost like that higher power can help you to create these firm foundations for yourself, right? But you have to find the faith. You can't just go about it, insecure, discouraged, and without faith. Like you have to be willing to allow that creative force into your experience. So for your biggest asset, you have no place like home. And what's beautiful about this energy, Libra, oh, first, let me just step back for a second. I do apologize. That higher power is the number 4. For those of you who have been keeping track of the numbers, right? They may be important to you in some way, shape, or form. You also have the number 2 here with that yin energy, as well as the number 28 with building blocks. We now have the number 50, right? With no place like home. And here's the thing, Libra, I feel like this no place like home card, your biggest asset is being authentically you. That's it. That is your biggest asset. This isn't about lying. This isn't about sugarcoating. This isn't about glitter and gold and dressing yourself up to be like appealing or to seem more appealing, right? Your biggest asset is being authentically you all the time. I'm just saying. Yeah. Yeah. Because people can tell, Libra, people can tell when you're not being yourself. People can tell when you're being deceptive. People can tell when you're being like tricksy. Okay? I can't help it, you guys. I love like Lord of the Rings. Okay? So, people can tell, right? And you're like, whether you think it or not, right? You may think like, nobody knows me, like nobody really can tell I'm not vulnerable enough, like, but it doesn't take, I don't, how do I word this? Like, we pick up on energy regardless, whether someone realizes that's what's happening or not, right? And we have the ability within us to interpret those things, whether you realize it or not. That would be that gut feeling that somebody gets about somebody, or something about like something just not feeling right or not making sense, right? Sometimes it's like, did you see the way that they were like they were they were saying one thing, but did you see the way that they were standing? Like it just didn't make any sense to me. Like they looked angry, but were saying something that was very positive. I don't understand, right? So they may not even pick up on it consciously, like this is what it is, right? But people can tell when you're not being yourself. People can tell when you're being deceptive, right? And I feel like that it's your biggest asset is to be who you are, truly. It's really interesting, you guys, because I haven't really gotten that type of energy with that magician card very often. So it's really fascinating to me that I got that. Let's take a look at what you have an opportunity to learn. You do have the number 23 here with peace, right? So what's interesting is you have this opportunity to, and let me just share, right, that um, for this position in this spread that I've created, this may be something that's challenging or difficult to face, right? And so it's interesting because you have an opportunity to learn peace. For some of you, I don't think you know what that means. I don't think you know what peace means. I don't think you know what it means to be at peace. And I feel like if that's true for you, if that resonates with you, if you felt peace, it might scare you. I'm just being honest. Um, and I'm not saying that because I feel like you are unintelligent or anything like that, right? It is just because, like, if you don't know, you don't know. It's as simple as that. And for like, I would have thought previously that I knew what peace was until I actually found myself at peace, right? So now I definitely know what peace isn't, for sure. Um, and I feel like some of you, how do I word this? Um, yeah, thank you, Lord. For some of you, I feel like the thing that you may have an opportunity to learn this year is that a lot of times, in order to find peace, in order to obtain peace, to have peace, you have to be willing to give things up. You have to be willing to make difficult decisions, right? Like, how to, I'm actually being reminded, Libra, of a quote that I heard once or read once. Um, and it was essentially like, something along the lines of, if you want peace, be willing to go to war or be ready to go to war, right? And I've kind of elaborated on that quote because it's the energy that I got was like, yeah, it's not necessarily that you're going to war with others. It's more so that you're going to go to war with yourself, right? Because, for example, if you want peace, there may be people you have to get rid of, people who are drama, people who bring negativity, people who are unsupportive, people who are controlling or manipulative or narcissistic or what have you, right? You may have to be willing to get rid of some people. And that may include family, that may include friends, that may include lovers, that may include jobs, that may include living arrangements, right? So there's this, what I feel like, that lesson, or that may be challenging for you or difficult to face, is that um, you may, right, learn, essentially, like, in order to have peace, like, you may have to be willing to do some hard things, right? We also have here to the sea. Yeah, so what's it? I feel interesting. First of all, this is at number 7 again for you, Libra, which is an energy that's kept showing up, right? That universal 7 year being one of being reflective, introspective, right? Very analytical of self, as well as spiritual. It's also a very spiritual number. But to the sea here, Libra, I think one of the challenges um, for you, or something you have an opportunity to learn, is to be able to flow with your emotions, to be able to feel things, right? To be able to be willing to go deep, to be willing to look at self, to be willing to allow God, universe, spirit to lead you through life, right? Being willing to flow, not being able to control everything, right? I feel like this is going to be a challenge for you. And again, it's part of that peace too, right? Going with the flow is part of that piece as well, because again, you will get these intuitive hits that say, this is not for you. And you have to be willing to say, okay, right? You have to be willing to go with the flow. You also have here time for a nap. Oh, sorry, guys. To the sea, it's number 7, time for a nap, the number 24. So there's that 6 energy showing up again. Yeah, I feel like this is going to be something where, Libra, an opportunity to learn when it's time to take a break, when it's time to take care of yourself and to better take care of yourself. I feel like this isn't just encompassing that sleep or resting or napping type of energy. I also feel like this is encompassing just taking care of yourself all the way around, getting enough sleep, getting enough rest, listening to your body, drinking water, right? Getting vitamins, getting fruits and vegetables, live foods, fresh foods, right? Taking care of yourself. We can't be everything for everyone all the time. And, when When we overgive, we to others, we often undergive to ourselves, right? And I feel like some of us think that, we can just give back to ourselves by like taking a bath or something. Not that that doesn't help, it does, but we have to take care of ourselves in all ways, not just a couple of ways, right? It's not just about the extra sleep, it's not just about the bath, it's also about healing, it's also about giving ourselves space, it's also about processing, it's also about acknowledging and taking responsibility for ourselves, it's also about eating right, right? It's also about consuming the right things, watching things that are good for us, listening to things that are good for us as well, right? So I just really feel, for some of you Libras, there's this energy of like taking a break. That could be from people, that could be from, again, foods, situations, whatever it is for you, however it shows up, right? Also have here imagine. For some of you, I feel like this shows up as a challenge because I feel like some of you have, how do I word this? Again, there's that energy of like losing that faith, losing that hope, being insecure in yourself, not, and so I feel like for some of you it's hard for you to imagine possibilities. For some of you, I feel like it's hard to imagine that you could be supported. It's hard to imagine that you could find peace. It's hard to imagine that you would be able to ever sit with your emotions and be okay with them and have control of them, or to be able to navigate them. For some of you, it's hard to imagine having the time to really take care of yourself or even knowing what to do, right? And it's interesting because it's like when you shut down to what's possible, you shut down to so many things, right? You shut down, you block your blessings. You tell God, I don't want those opportunities, essentially, right? And so I feel like for you this year, it's going to be a lot about learning, or being put in positions where, how do I word this? It's like you may literally be having to use your imagination to get yourself, or to find ways to navigate certain things, which is really weird. I don't know who that's for. Maybe it's for somebody really specific. Maybe you have young children. Maybe that's going to be something that's difficult, right? Or that requires you to get into that state, to be able to imagine with them, right? But for a lot of you, I feel like you've forgotten, or something, right? Somehow lost your ability to imagine, what's possible, or yeah, it really feels like that loss of faith. And there's a lot of moon energy here as well showing up for you. I've just realized in these challenges, right? And the moon is really about the subconscious. It's about what's hidden. It's about illusions. Also about your intuition. So again, trusting your intuition is going to be, I feel, a big thing for you this year, especially with challenges, right? And I also feel like there's going to be a lot of hidden things that are coming out this year around you, whether that's things that are, hidden within you that you've hidden intentionally or unintentionally, or if it's things coming out around, or with people around you, right? I just feel like there's going to be some things that are coming out, hidden things that are coming out. From the tarot, we have the Three of Wands in the reverse. This is delays, obstacles, frustrations, right? And here, I mean, this shows up as in the challenge, right? It shows up as something difficult. And here's the thing: I feel like you have to be, or no, let me rephrase that. I feel like there's this element of being able to find peace in the obstacles, in the frustrations, being able to um, navigate your emotions while being frustrated, while experiencing delays, right? Because that's what this is. The Three of Wands is frustration, delays, obstacles, and we have this energy of like peace to the seed, time for a nap, imagine, right? So it's going to be overcoming the obstacles that you face with all of these things. That's going to be the challenge, right? That's going to be the challenge. By the way, the imagine is the number 20. We do have the Three of Wands showing up now, so 2, 3. or 23, right? 2023. So, I just feel like it's going to be a bit, the challenge is, yeah, look at this. You have the Two of Wands as well. And that Two of Wands is, first of all, it's making decisions, choosing, right? Twos are about choices. So again, like experiencing delays and frustration around peace, around experiencing your emotions, around, finding time to take care of yourself. And then you have the Two of Wands here, which is like literally like, can be like about leaving home or getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, taking those risks, right? Deciding, I don't want to experience this anymore, right? Super fascinating to me with that Two of Wands, because again, it's like choices. It's definitely going to be about the choices that you make during those moments where you feel frustrated, your peace is disturbed, right? Where you feel tired, where you feel you're dealing with your emotions. Yeah, look at this, learning from that, recovering from that, seeing that you have more available to you than what you realize, and more help than you realize as well, right? Not being afraid of being in lack. The Five of Wands, especially in the upright, is about like poverty and lack, and not having enough or needing things, right? In the reverse, it's like charity and improvement or recovery, right? So all of these things that you're experiencing as challenging or being difficult to face are to help you, right? And I feel like part of this is showing you that you have yourself to rely on. First of all, I feel like there's more support available to you, or more resources available to you than what you realize. But if you look at this Five of Pentacles here, she is in this locked room, but the key is on the inside of the door. She can get out whenever she wants, right? So again, it's this energy of essentially understanding that you have everything you need. You don't need to rely on other people. Okay? You have more resources than what you think you do. And it's interesting because, like, how do I word this? It's like, can you rely on other people? Sure. Right? But do you need to? Sometimes, yeah, but not all the time, right? The key is on the inside of the door. So these things, like overcoming these things, or facing these things, you have everything you need within you to be able to do that. And I feel like there's something there about proving that to yourself this year. Let's take a look at what your soul wants you to know for 2023. We have Unfinished Symphony. This is the number 10. Okay, so there's like a keyboard on there, like a piano keyboard. There are also birds, music notes, and I believe she's holding a violin. The character on there. I'm going to pull out the Book Witch Oracle, yes, okay, and read the Oracle message for this card for you. I just feel like there could be something here for someone. Okay, so here we go. It says, this is a time to tie up loose ends as you near the completion of a cycle or a project and mastery of a lesson or skill. Before you can move forward, it's important that you come to terms with where you are now. Practice radical acceptance. Take inventory so that emotional and psychological closure can occur, and the answers you seek will be found. You can't move forward if you are leaving things unfinished. Reflect on what has passed so that the symphony can finally end on a high note. Right? So I feel like that your soul's saying here, Libra, is that this is about closure. Right? Something there, I feel like there's going to be things that are coming up for you in 2023 that are about closure, that are about healing, that are about release, that are about letting go. And again, right, there's this element of taking risks, putting in the work, right? Allowing yourself to be fully authentic with yourself, right? And I feel like that's a big part of this. Let's see what the tarot is. Yeah, so Nine of Pentacles in the reverse of this. So I find that interesting that it's like 10-9 for some of you. You may have felt like you took some steps forward and then maybe back. It's interesting. I feel like for some of you in 2022, maybe it felt like a dance, right? Where you felt like, okay, I took some steps forward. Okay, wait, now I feel like I stepped backwards again. Oh, I took some steps forward. Now I feel like I stepped backward again, because that 10-9 is standing out to me pretty significantly. But with the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse here, this is, I mean, here's the thing. The Nine of Pentacles can be this energy of like living beyond your means, okay? And what I'm kind of getting here is there's this energy, especially also because the Nine of Pentacles can be about like material and spiritual abundance, right? I feel like there's the message of, in order to move forward, in order to experience that abundance, or to be able to welcome that, you have to be willing to let go of things that are no longer serving you, that are no longer in alignment with you, that are no longer healthy, that are preventing you or limiting you from moving forward, from progressing, right? This could be many, many things for various, different people. It could be about a relationship that maybe you never got closure on, or maybe a situation where you never heard sorry, or maybe you have guilt over something that you haven't been able to let go of, right? There's something where it, and also the Nine of Pentacles is also this like obsessive type of energy, typically with work. But it's obsessive nonetheless, and I feel like there's something that you've been clinging to where your soul is like, hey Libra, we need to let this go so that you stop blocking your blessings, right? Like, so that you can welcome in a new story, so that you can welcome in a new beginning, so that you can finally close this out, right? Complete the symphony, as it were. I feel like whatever this is for some of you, this is something that's been trying to close for some time, right? At the very least, a full year, if not longer, for some of you. It feels like at least a full year. So what does God want you to know, Libra? Wow, this is beautiful. I love this card showing up in this position. You do have loyal heart here. So what I feel, this is the number 35, in case you're wondering. And what I love about this is that right, what does God want you to know? God wants you to know that God's heart is loyal to you, that God loves you, right? God wants you to know that you are not alone, right? God wants you to know you are not alone. I feel like there's also this message of like wisdom being available to you, right? And here's the thing, it's beautiful because I feel like God is trying to, or will be throughout 2023 at the very least, I feel like is trying to connect with some of you, right? Like trying to bring back that connection, trying to bring that security, that faith back for you, right? Because I feel like it's what's missing, right? It's that driving force that's missing. It's that I can't, it's like, to me, it feels like for some of you, you may have felt unplugged, right? Like as if you were like a light, for example, right? And someone plugged you into the wall. I feel like you felt unplugged. Like it's like that vitality, that life force has not been, I don't even know how to explain it, at its peak, right? I feel like you haven't felt that in a while. And so I feel like, again, God's showing up here to say like, hey, I'm for you. I am here. I am loyal to you. I'm loyal to your growth, your expansion, right? Your protection, your health, all of these things, right? I feel like God's showing up to say you're not alone. What else do we have here? A change in the wind. Okay. So I love this because I feel like there's this energy of like, imagine the possibilities, right? And God's showing up with this change in the wind. And I just said, like, God is for you, right? God's basically saying, like, I am for you, right? The things that are happening are for you, for your growth. And we have that change in the wind. And what's interesting about changes in the wind, right, is sometimes they can stir up debris and throw trash around, or, you know what I'm saying? Which isn't very pleasant. But what does wind do as well? Wind also throws around seeds, carries them, right, from where they may have been nothing, where they just, maybe could have faded away, to where they find fertile soil and can grow, right? So I feel like there's this element here for you, Libra, of, if things are happening, changes are taking place that may feel uncomfortable, may feel maybe like you can't see very good, right? Because I have really long hair, Libra. And so when the wind's blowing, like oftentimes I can't see nothing because my hair is covering my face. Right. So there's this energy of like, even though you may not see what changes this wind is bringing, even though you may not see how it's beneficial for you or why these changes are occurring, right? There's an element here of knowing that they are for you, right? Knowing that God is bringing these forward for you. That change in the wind, there is the number 12 for those who are wondering. And you also have another moon on the top of that card there. So again, things that maybe were hidden come into the surface. You do have the Empress card here in the reverse, showing up to clarify God's message for you. And here's the thing, the Empress in the reverse can be about selfishness. It is also the number 3. So there's that 12 reduces to 3 also. So there's 2 3 showing up. You may be seeing that number repeated. If so, there's likely a very, very big message here for you, at least in this section of the reading. But you do have another number 3 out with that 3 of Wands as well, right? So anyways, the Empress in the reverse can be this energy of like selfishness, excess type of energy, right? Also because in the upright she does represent fertility and creativity, in the reverse, right, it can be that energy of being maybe not feeling very creative at all, maybe not being fertile in ideas, right? Or being able to bring things forth, bring things into fruition, right? Or to be that creative force behind certain situations, certain things. But also it's this energy of like I was saying, excess, smothering, selfishness, right? I don't know why I'm getting this feeling, Libra, but for some of you, I feel like God may be exposing things, changing things, exposing selfishness, exposing um, excess. Now, whether that's yours or people in your life, right? I just feel like, yeah, I feel like there could be things in your life, Libra, that are preventing you from growing, right? The longer I look at this card and see that big earth, pregnant mama belly there with the Empress, because the Empress is that archetype of the mother, right? The more I look at it, the more it's like I'm getting this energy of like there could be people or situations in your life, Libra, that are preventing you from growing, right? And that could be because they're not growing themselves, they're not changing themselves. Maybe you're trying to change, maybe you're trying to grow, and maybe this person is just not as supportive as they could be. Maybe they're not making any effort to change or grow, right? And or maybe you have certain things that you're feeling drawn to and you want to implement into your experience and they aren't able to do that, right? I don't know what this is for, but for some reason it just feels like to me it's like essentially God's saying like, I'm loyal to you, I'm loyal to your growth, I want to help you, right? I want to protect you, I want to provide for you, right? But it's like God's like, there have to be some changes that take place, right? Because I feel like there's something here, especially with these both ultimately being the number 3, there's something here that's preventing your growth, something that needs to change. And again, it could be something within you, it could be people you're around, a job, living situation, something, right? But I feel like God is saying there are things that are preventing your growth that need to change, right? And while that may not be comfortable, that may not be what you want to hear, it is because like God is bringing this to your attention for you, right? Whatever change happens is for you, because what you've been doing previously has prevented you from growing. in some way, shape, or form. Okay. So finally, Libra, let's take a look at a blessing you'll have the opportunity to receive. You have Thinker, the number 44, showing up for you here. Interestingly, more often than not, I often feel like this is like overthinker type of energy, or like analysis paralysis, like don't get stuck just sitting and thinking about things versus doing, right? But in this situation, I want to read the prosperity message here for you, because it is a blessing you'll have the opportunity to receive. And for whatever reason, as soon as I flipped it over, it's like, let's go ahead and read this. Okay, so with this thinker energy, the essential meanings say strategy, being analytical and logical. Okay. Let me just get that prosperity message again. Sorry about that. It says here, okay, so think about this in the form of a blessing you'll have the opportunity to receive. So that means that the opportunity will present itself. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen for sure. It's going to require something on your part, right? So it says, calculated action is called for now. It's important to sit down and plan a strategy. Focus on the steps you're going to take to claim your prosperous life. Lists are your friend now, so get out your journal. Write down what you're going to do today to signal to the universe that you're serious about attracting abundance. Your plans and strategies will yield wonderful results. Remember, your most effective strategic partner is spirit. You will win this game, and your triumph will be for the highest good of all. Okay? So you'll have, like, it's interesting because there's this element here of you could have the opportunity to find yourself a part of something very prosperous, right? But in order for that, you have to be willing to make plans, to be strategic. You have to be willing to put things in motion, right? You also have here as a potential blessing. Oh, wow. Okay, so we have chaos and conflict. And this is the number 33. So that's really interesting because it goes here, right? If I'm holding them up to you the way that they came out for you, excuse me, is 44 and then 33. Right? So it is again counting down. I feel like you may, it's interesting, Libra, because I feel like for some of you this year, you, and maybe even before this year, you may have felt like I was saying before, like you've been doing a dance of like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, right? You may continue to feel that way throughout this year. But the interesting thing about it is like I don't feel like you're stepping back as far as you think you are, right? I feel like it's more of like tapping your foot back so that you're made aware of certain things, or so that you can acknowledge how far you've come on certain things, right? But I feel like it's ultimately for you. It's ultimately for you to be able to peel back some layers, because with this chaos and conflict card, if you look at it, right, there's a zebra that has like giraffe skin on, right? Or like a giraffe outfit. And it looks as if the bits of the giraffe are like floating away to reveal that it's a zebra, right? So basically, what this is saying is that, like, in the midst of chaos and conflict, like, truth is revealed, right? I'm going to read the prosperity message for this card as well, just to add some more context for someone, right? Let's see, what does it say here? Yeah, exactly. Very much like I was saying, right? So if you needed a sign, like confirmation, you're getting it immediately. It says here, circumstances appear to be chaotic, but everything is happening now, or excuse me, everything that is happening now is in truth, shaking things up so you can find the real path to your prosperity. Yes, it's a stormy time, and it feels as if there are opposing forces wherever you turn. Be reassured that there is divine purpose in this chaos. Everything that doesn't work is being taken from you so the truest parts of yourself remain. The events occurring now are essential for your ultimate prosperity. This chaos is divinely inspired, even though it doesn't appear that way now. In time, you will know this to be true, right? So very similar to that chaos in the wind, or excuse me, change in the wind. And maybe it feels like chaos in the wind, but very similar to that change in the wind, right? There's an element of things happening for a reason. And with that loyal heart, right, God was saying, like, these things are happening for you. It's for you to be able to grow. These two cards coming out, I feel, is very similar, right? It's going to take action. It's going to take you being strategic and understanding, oh, these things are happening for me to be my most authentic self, for me to align with my most prosperous path, right? My truth, the truth of who I am, the truth of why I'm here. Let's take a look at the tarot with this card, 8 of Wands. So it's really interesting. What is really, really interesting, Libra, is I feel like the gift that you'll have the opportunity to receive, should you choose to plan, be strategic, even though, right, this coming to the edge feels risky, right? Even though you may not understand it at the time, right? There's a reason, there's a need to be like planning and strategic. And it's interesting because you have the 2 of Wands over here, which is also about planning. Okay. So I just feel like there's something about putting plans into place, putting things into action, taking calculated risks, coming to the edge and putting work in, right? Trusting God, trusting source, the universe, to guide you, lead you, provide for you, right? Because I feel like what is going on is all of the falsity, everything that is untrue for your authentic self, for your soul, for your path is being stripped away, which can feel very, very chaotic, and it can feel hectic, challenging, right? You can experience lots of conflict, not only with yourself, but with other people. But what's amazing about this and the blessing that is here is that should you choose to put that work in, should you choose to allow these layers to be peeled back, to reveal the truth of who you are, if you should allow yourself and choose to align with the truth of who you are, I feel like things are going to start to speed up. I feel like things are going to feel like they just take off, right? It's a blessing you have the opportunity to receive should you allow it, but it's going to allow work, right? It's going to allow you making decisions, kind of being quick on your feet, because those opportunities are going to be coming out quickly, right? It really seems to me like there's this year of potential, or let me rephrase it, Libra. This year has the capacity for you to be exponentially, what is the word? Expansive. That's what it feels like. It feels like you have tremendous opportunity for growth should you allow yourself. And that is the key word here, Libra. Are you going to allow yourself this opportunity, right? Are you going to allow these things to come in for this year? Because that's going to be the biggest thing for you, is making that decision, right? Choosing to allow these things to happen, choosing to basically dive headfirst into life, right? Libra, I want to thank you so much for being here. I know this is a lot of information to digest and to process, but I'm so happy that you've shared your time and energy with me. I truly am so very grateful. It's been an absolute pleasure to read for you. I really do appreciate you. If something in this reading has resonated for you, please do the YouTube things by liking, sharing, and or smashing that subscribe button. It really does help the channel to grow. It tells YouTube that there may be something else valuable here for someone else, and so YouTube pushes it out to more people, and I truly am so very grateful for that. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing this year, I pray that 2023 is a year of growth for you. I pray that you find courage. I pray that you find the opportunity to be brave, to be expansive, to put your faith to the test, and to grow beyond your wildest imagination. Again, thank you so much for being here. Have an amazing, amazing 2023. I'm sending you so much love and tons of hugs, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye for now.